Yeah, so we expound on the concept of forms, and we said the forms, the way we add a form in React is just by using the form tag or the form element. And when you have a React form, then that form is going to collect some data from the users, and that data must be tracked and managed within the component itself. And the way we manage that data is by using the use state. And just to open the project that we have done yesterday, I'll go and open a new window, and I'm going to open the recent project, which is React app. And now when I run this project, uh, let me change the directory cd to the project folder, block app, and then now type npm start. So it gives me an error. Let me see where the error is. I think logo. Okay, it must be here. Let me remove this code. And run again. So you can see that we have this is our app that we've created yesterday, and we added a form called the sign up form. So when I click on sign up, I should be able to see some form with just one input field. Enter your full name, and there's the text field where you can type your name, and then after typing it you are going to click submit. So this was a simple form that we created yesterday, and the code for that you can see it in the sign up page. If you look at this form, we basically have created a function component called sign up, and inside this function component we have created a form. We have used the form tag to declare a form with one input field, and then we have said on submit. So when the user clicks on submit event, what happens? We need to call this method called handle submit, and this method, what it does is that it simply uh, does an alert message with the name that you have entered. So that was the form we did yesterday, and now today we want to expound on that and be able to even add multiple forms, so that we can be able to enter many details. For example, you could enter first name, second name, email, password, and such. So to enter multiple inputs, you need to handle multiple input fields, and we use the syntax as illustrated in this form. The next slide. So this code block represents how it's a code block that represents how you can have a form with multiple input fields. So you can see here we want to capture the name, the email, and the password, and the best way we can do that is by using the an object to hold that. So we can have an object with the name, email, name, email, and the password. So let us modify this form so that instead of just accepting one input, we could have multiple inputs. So I'm going to clear this code that is inside here, and we're going to create a new component. Let me give this code sample and put it here. So you can see here we have created a new component called my form. Let's change it to sign up. And this sign up component, inside here we have declared a state object variable to hold input values and a function to update it. So we are using use state here to track the state of the data that is entered, and we have a variable called form data that is going to hold the data that is entered on the form, and the set form data that is going to update the data that is entered on the form. Then we have the handle change. This method, what it does is that it tracks the input fields, and in case there's any change when the user starts typing on those input fields, it tracks that change and gets any value that has been entered on that input fields and assigns it to a value variable here. Then after that, it is going to set the form data to whatever values that have been entered. Then we have the handle submit method, which helps us to handle the data once the user clicks on the submit form. Alright, then now here we have the form layout, the HTML that is going to give us the form. So we have the first label name. So let us name this one full name. Enter your full name. And then this is going to be a text field, and then we have this other field here. Yeah, for now it is only one, so let's save this change. And then I also want to export here. Must make sure I export sign up, and here we have this structure here. So we have one field, enter full name, and then there is a text to enter the full name here, and then after that you are going to click submit. But this, when you try to look at this form, it has a very bad layout, and it does not look good as compared to this form here. Let me open the code archive form. So when I click on sign up, you're going to see there is this form which looks a bit more professional and looks much better. It has the layout arranged more better than what we have here. So we can change this one as well, so that we can have a better input fields. So we go back to our code, and in this label, so we have a label enter full name. We can add the HTML break or BR tag, so that we can bring this input field next to the next line, and when we save that, you can see now it appears much better. So we have a field below that. Then we can add multiple fields. So let me also add the field for the email and password. So I'm going to copy this and then paste it below here, so that we can have another one. We call it enter email, and here we are going to say form data. So you're going to call it email and form data dot email. Then we are going to have another one to add the password field. So we can call this enter password, and here we are going to assign it to password, call it password. Then we are going to say form dot get password, and therefore let me save this, and then we see how the form looks like. So now we have our form presented here with 3 input fields, entering full name, email, and password. Let's try to bring it to the center in the middle here, and we give it some margin. So to be able to do that, we can now add some CSS to see how we can style this one. So within this form here, we can add a style and say maybe text align. Then we say it is center. So let's see whether it brings the form to the center. So now our form is at the center. We can even bring we give a space between this last submit button and this input field for the password. We go back to our code, and then we can even add a break. Line break. So that we can have it in that manner. Then instead of using the text align here, we can use content alignment. Let's use content or item. Let me remove the whole of this. Align content, and let me say center. It goes back there. Let me try align items. Okay, so we can still use align text. I think it works better. We call it text align. And we have it here. So now we have a form with multiple input fields. So you can input for now 3 values: the full name, the email, and the password. And once that is filled, then you can click on submit. And once you click on submit, something must happen. And what is that must happen? So there has to be a JavaScript function which handles this form once the submit button has been clicked. And that's why we are having this method called handle submit. So that's how you can add multiple input fields. You could even add text areas, select boxes or check boxes, radio buttons, whatever kind of input you want to add on your form, you can add it. So the only thing that now is left is now to play around with the CSS styling, so that you are able to have the best layout of the form according to the style that you want, like the one we have it here. So the next thing now is to apply the CSS styling, and you can get a whole tutorial on CSS on these W3 schools, and then click on CSS. So you'll get all the styles that you can apply on any HTML element to make it look good and professional. So that's all about forms. Unless you have a question, you can ask before we proceed to the next concept. Or if you want me to summarize something or to clarify some parts. Any question?